Love this man like a brother. Love working with him on NFL Network. And he will be part of NFL Game Day morning starting at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and he'll be with us until he leaves us to go do the radio for Westwood One. Good to see Kurt Warner, Hall of Famer. How are you?
Good to see you, buddy.
Kurt?
How's it going, man?
That's right.
Thank you.
Very
Thank
good.
you. They're starting to pick up.
Yeah, it's
starting to get excited.
You feel it, right?
Oh, man. It's such a great week of the year for us. You know, I mean,
Right.
Again, I'm all football all the time. I know you got stuff all year long, but this is my gig. This is it for me, and I love this week, seeing all the people come out, but just the anticipation of the big game, because I remember it like it was yesterday.
Well, I mean, you had 3 big games of your career, and you had the most prolific passing games in the history of the game, 1, 2, and 3, until
Right.
Brady went to work in recent days. But when you think Super Bowl week, what's the memory? Like, boom, if we're doing some sort of association.
When you say Super Bowl week in memory, the memory is throwing the touchdown pass to win the Super Bowl, because that's just how you do it, right? From the time I was this big, I would watch every Super Bowl, and then I would go out in my front yard, and whatever quarterback won the Super Bowl, that's who I was in my front yard, and we would play out the whole Super Bowl again, and I would always throw the game-winning touchdown pass. So to have my first one play out like that and to throw that pass at the end, that's always the first memory. But it's so much more there's so much more that goes into it. Just remembering the teams and remembering the guys and remember what it takes to get to this point. I mean, that's what's so great about it, is every time I step on the Super Bowl field when we do our show, I think, man, just one more? Can I have one more game in this moment? Because it's so awesome as a football player.
Well, I mean, and making the moment and meeting the moment, you are a personification of that and what it can mean for a life, a career. And it's tough for me to think that this isn't Mahomes' moment, that this is the one right here. Year 2, he's got him here, and he's just going to meet this moment. And and that's why I'm leaning Chiefs right now. I'm wondering what you think of that whole idea.
I mean, here's the beautiful thing, is that we've seen that scenario play out many times, right? The guy that everybody's talking about, the main man for one of the teams, comes into the Super Bowl and he shines in this moment, walks away with the MVP, and it happens. But we've also seen the other side of it, like the guy that nobody expected.
Right.
The guy that we weren't even talking about all week, comes in and has his moment in the Super Bowl as well. And so would I be surprised if Patrick Mahomes came out of this game and had the MVP and all? No. But I look at the other side, and I look at a guy like Raheem Mostert, and I say to myself, that was me 20 years ago, right? That cut by 7 teams, has his moment to help his team get here. And then that would be a beautiful story, too, is that on the biggest stage, in the biggest moment, the guy that was told 7 times, you're not good enough, you can't be here, you're never going to make it, has his shining moment, too. So that's what I love about it, is you don't know what the story is going to be written on Super Bowl Sunday, and I could see so many things play out, and that's what excites me. Will it be, the guy that catapults himself into the next great quarterback, or will it be some unknown guy that wins the MVP and makes a stamp in history in the biggest game of his career?
Ask Kurt Warner the poll question, Chris, and then we'll just close it out for the day here on the Rich Eisen Show. What do you got?
All right, Kurt, we're looking at XFactors. Who do you think might be the biggest one on Super Sunday? Deebo Samuel, Kendrick Bourne, Damian Williams, Mecole Hardman.
Those are your 4 choices.
Mecole Hardman. Who was the third one?
Damian Williams.
Because they're going to screen game. They're going to at least attempt to screen game their way down the field potentially if that pass rush really goes at it.
I got to pick one of those guys, huh?
Yeah,
I can't give you my own X Factor?
You can after you give us which one you win.
Answer the question first.
I'm going to say Mecole Hardman. I just think at some point, the San Francisco's going to play this game like we're not going to give up the big play. We're not going to give up the big play. We're not going to give up the big play. And everybody thinks if they give up one, it's going to be Tyreek Hill, right?
Right.
But I just feel that it's going to be a young kid in this moment, the other speed guy that they forget about. Kelsey and Hill, we got to take them out. A guy like that just somehow, some way gets the ball in his hands, and bang, he's gone, and he makes that big play.
So then who's yours, if you can go off the board, if you will?
I'm going to go Kyle Juszczyk. Can I do that?
You may.
Is that And the funny thing is I don't know if it's going to be a big pass play for a touchdown or it's even going to be with the ball in his hands. But they asked that guy to do so much. And now that he's healthy, like I think back to the greatest show on turf, and we had all these weapons on the outside that it was tough to cover.
Right.
I believe George Kittle and Kyle Juszczyk are kind of like Kyle Shanahan's, guys, pawn pieces that are different than everybody else. You're going to see him do some things, whether it's set a block, lead, catch a screen, lead a big run, where I think he's going to have a huge factor, and we may never even call his name for carrying the ball one single time.
Or he could wheel route it, right, when you least expect it.
Right?
I mean, it's
No
entirely
doubt.
possible. Kurt Warner here on the Rich Eisen Show. Storyline this week that I'm not here for is that the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo had just 6 pass attempts after throwing the interception against Minnesota and only 8 in the NFC Championship game is a sign that the Niners don't trust him, and that if the game's on his shoulders, they lose. I wonder what you think of that.
Yeah, I don't buy that either.
You're hearing it though.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm hearing
we all
that a
hear
lot.
it, and and it makes sense. But what I think it was is simply just, hey, we got a young quarterback that's never been here before. Okay, he made a mistake. Not that we're worried and scared, oh my gosh, he made a mistake, let's not put the ball in his hands, but it's simply just made a mistake. Let's settle him back down and let's hand the football off, because we can do that, and we can win that way. And then from that point, they haven't really had to throw it, at any point in time. And I sat down with Jimmy earlier in the week, and I was asking him, like, okay, outside of winning, what does this game look like for Jimmy Garoppolo? Like, what's the perfect scenario? And, of course, he was trying to be politically correct and like, hey, just win, baby. If I have to throw 8 passes. And I'm thinking, there is no way Jimmy Garoppolo wants to just throw 8 passes to win this Super Bowl. And I don't think they're going to. I think they have full trust in him. We saw it numerous times this year where
the Thursday
we're down,
night game in Arizona.
we got to put it in his hands,
Sure.
and you got to win it. Arizona, you mentioned it. New Orleans, we saw it. So I believe they have full confidence in Jimmy Garoppolo. If Kansas City goes into this game thinking Jimmy Garoppolo cannot win this game for the Niners with his weapons and the way he's played all year, I think that would be the biggest mistake they could make.
Kurt Warner here on the Rich Eisen Show in the few minutes that we have left. Are you with us for all 7.5 hours on NFL Network, or do you tap out that you got to go get your radio booth ready, Kurt? Are you with us?
I believe I may have to tap out and miss just a half an hour or so at the end. Just a half an hour.
What do you
though.
mean just a half an hour?
Just
what are you going to do with that half an hour?
I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but you know
just
how
wait on the line for the elevator to go straight up?
You know how producers get, right?
They're nervous.
Like, I can just go up there, let's call the game. I'm all good.
Yeah, but you're already
like,
in the stadium.
you got to be there an hour and a half before up in the radio booth. And it's like, what? For what? Just as long as I get there before kickoff, I should be good. So we'll have that conversation. I want to be with you guys for the full. We're only 7.5 hours this year?
That's it.
Oh. I thought we were always 8.5 hours. I got 7.5 hours.
No, it will be 8.5 hours long, but we're done after 7.5.
I got you. I think I should.
So I'm saying, come on.
I should be able to give you 7.5.
You can't touch the tap.
Right. How long can it take to get up to the radio booth? Really?
Seriously.
Right.
You could walk up the
steps. Let's make that happen.
10 minutes.
Make that happen.
5 minutes.
I have a feeling it will be a wonderful moment where we have a half an hour to go. You're like, guys, I got to go. I'm like, where are you going? Like 4 flights up? Is that where you're going?
I could run the stairs and get up there that fast, right?
Oh, man. All right, it's game prediction time presented by DirecTV 4K. A quick reminder that the big game on Sunday is brought to you in 4K HDR by DirecTV. Kurt, Kansas City or San Francisco, who do you have? Who will I hear you say on Sunday?
Yeah, you got to hear me say it on Sunday, because I always reserve the right to change my pick, or at least nothing else, to make everybody tune into NFL Game Day morning on Sunday to get it.
Yes.
But here's the thing. I believe this is kind of, in my mind, the best team in the NFL against the best player in the NFL. Ooh. And you sit back and you go, okay, so who wins the Super Bowl? The best team or the best player, that dynamic player? I believe quarterbacks can help you get to the Super Bowl and can be that part of it. I believe teams win championships. So as of right now, I am leaning towards the San Francisco 49ers to win this one in a close one over Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs.
That's why there is no I on Kurt or Warner. Pretty much right there.
Pretty much. There
You're
you go.
about the team.
It's about the team, baby.
You're about the team.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Mahomes, I just keep on thinking.
He is the ultimate X factor, right?
He's the ultimate. Right. Well, he erases anything. If there's clock management issues that Andy Reid's been having problems with for 2 decades, they're gone. If they make a mistake in, say, blowing not seeing a clear fake punt coming, Damian Williams runs out of bounds to give an extra timeout back to Tennessee. Mahomes will just make the play and just erase all the problems.
And isn't that what makes it perfect for us as analysts, or for me calling the game, that no matter what happens early in this game, no one is ever going to shut this TV off, right? Nobody is going to tune out because they're always going to say, oh, that guy on the other side?
Yeah.
Nothing is too big. Nothing is impossible when you have the ball in that guy's hands. And that's a beautiful thing for us as we get ready to call the game.
No doubt about it. And so it's you and Harlan, right, for Westwood 1?
Exactly.
All right. And then me, you, Irv, and Mooch to start. And then
we got to have a cast of characters.
Yeah, I believe Von Miller's going to join us.
Okay,
I've heard
awesome.
that. I've heard that rumor. And then so we've got the meeting coming up tomorrow. You'll be there for the entire meeting, right?
I will be there. Well, I'm going to tap out because I don't even need to worry about the last half hour.
You'll be leaving.
So I'm going to leave 30 minutes earlier, at least go get some food or something.
Kurt Warner right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Give him a round of applause.
Thank you.
At Kurt13Warner on Twitter and on Instagram. Love you, man. Thanks for coming on this show.
For more of the Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.